Hey everybody, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Ready to Die Fighting. I'm Chris, and I want to show you a couple more knots today. I've got two knots in this video. They serve basically the same purpose. They're very similar in their function and even how you tie them, but technically they are two different knots. And I use them. This is one of them. I believe this is called the Tautline hitch. And then there is the adjustable grip hitch. Very similar knots, and what's cool about them and makes them one of my favorite, I guess, sets or types of knots is that you have a nice loop here, and I can just kind of put that on my finger, and for the most part, it'll stay. However, if I want to adjust it, the size of that, I can slide it around, make it bigger, I can make it smaller, whatever, and it just seems to kind of work itself loose a little bit, and then it stays fixed to whatever size you want. Oh, except for that time, it slipped there. So this is the Tautline, and I will show you the adjustable grip hitch, which I actually like better of the two. I feel like the Tautline does come a little bit loose, at least for me. Alright, so let's get into how to tie these. Before I do, please subscribe to the channel. Help us grow. Help yourself learn more about tying knots, about the outdoors, predicting and understanding weather, martial arts and self-defense, all that fun stuff that we do on this channel. And normally you get to see my beautiful face, but when I'm doing the knot videos, not so much. So hit that bell, subscribe, and stay in the loop of what's going on. Alright, so let's get into these knots. I'm going to go with the adjustable grip hitch first. And I believe that's the correct name. I might get these two mixed up since they are very similar. This is the one that I like a little bit more. I feel like it's more reliable to me, in that it's a little bit more secure. I feel like it doesn't slip quite as much. I have an easier time I guess getting the knot to kind of clean up. So you want to make a loop. Size literally doesn't matter on this one because you can adjust it once the knot is done. And you have your loop, and you've got the inside of the loop and the outside of the loop. And that is very important in both of these knots, because if you watch Joe Robinette's channel, and probably should, it's a fun channel, he does a lot of outdoor stuff, and this is a knot that he uses a lot, and whenever he ties it, he always says 2 on the inside, 1 on the outside, and that is true. I actually think he uses the Tautline, not this one, but the same concept. So 2 loops or 2 wraps inside of the loop. So we're wrapping around, going inside here. I want to give it a little bit more space maybe. And then you wrap around that same line, or same side, I guess, again. So you've got 2 loops around there. Now, kind of just collapse it down on itself if you want. And you wrap on the outside. So this is considering the inside, going inside, and then on the outside, wrapping around both sides. And you're basically just doing a little overhand knot, tuck it in underneath itself. Now this knot, more so than I think most of the other knots that I have tied, you really want to make sure you get it nice and snug and neat. I feel that makes a big difference. So once you get it tied right and it's looking good, it's kind of a looking good's maybe not the best description, but because it's kind of an ugly knot to me, it's kind of, but that's how it's supposed to look. You got this sticking off to the side, you got these loops that are kind of, they don't sit nice and flush with each other. It's kind of an ugly knot, but my is it functional. So you get that nice and tight, and now you should be able to wrap this. I got it wrapped around my fist, and I'm pulling pretty hard here. So it will move if you kind of like turn and put the torque on one side. So when I turn my wrist there, that will cause it to slip. But as long as you are keeping it just kind of the pressure straight and you're not putting pressure just on one side, what side was it that it slipped? Oh, no, it's not doing it. Of course. It usually will stay, but the big part of that is keeping this nice and tight. And then when you're ready to adjust it, you just grab onto the knot itself, hold on to this to one side, and adjust. Adjust as needed. Make sure it's nice and tight again, and then you can pull it. And so this knot is great for if you're tying down a tarp or some kind of ridge line or anything like that where you kind of want to pull it taut and be able to adjust it to the length. So I use this a lot of times if I'm running a line, yeah, mostly for the tarp, or and I want to make sure it's nice and taut, but you know, you don't want to necessarily have like a trucker's hitch where you need to like really cinch it down, but you just want it to be kind of tight. It's perfect for that. So that's the adjustable grip hitch. Let me untie it and do that again. So you have your line, you make a loop, and actually I'm going to turn it this way. That's just a little bit more natural to me. You make yourself a nice loop of whatever size you want, and towards the inside of the loop, you loop around once, loop around twice, and then you go on the outside and loop around both lines and just tuck it in under itself, making that overhand knot. And pull everything nice and tight. Make sure everything is lined up nice. It's not binding up on itself or doing anything weird. Everything's kind of just looks like this, flat. Like that side in particular, that's like an easy visual, and things kind of just line up nicely. And now you should be able to, I'm got this hooked around my thumb and I'm pulling it and it's not coming loose. Adjust it, make it nice and small, and same thing. So this is a very, very useful knot out in the woods when you're setting up various things, or I don't know, you might be into some kinky stuff and you want to tie somebody up but you don't want it to pinch too tight around their wrist. This is a good one to use. I'm not judging. Do what you want, people. As long as it's consensual amongst adults, you know, whatever. Have a safety word. So, pull that nice and tight. I can stick my wrist in there. I can tighten that up. And I don't have to worry about it like cutting off my circulation or anything and getting any tighter than this. And I can just loosen it up when I want to. Yeah. So, nice knot. And then the other variant is the Tautline, unless I'm saying it backwards. And that was the Tautline, and the other one's adjustable grip. Not 100% sure on that, but it's very, very similar. If you can tie one, you can tie the other. You might find that you prefer one over the other one. I definitely prefer the adjustable grip hitch. To me, it just works a little bit better for me. But it's the same idea. You make a loop, and you wrap around not once, but twice. You could probably do additional times if you want. And this time, instead of wrapping around both lines here on the outside that way, we're calling the outside over here. So like the back side of the loop, I guess. So if we got the loop here, this is outside of it. So we are, I guess you could say, doubling back and going on the outside here and making a overhand knot this way. And once again, you gotta just pull everything nice and tight and snug on itself to make sure it's got a good grip. Whoops. So I said, this one for me, I have a harder time getting it nice and snug, but it definitely can be done. It definitely works, and you may prefer one over the other. And once you get it, you kind of have the same look where you've got three, I don't know, loops and kind of one just sticking off to the side, and it should look something along those lines. And if you did it right, you should be able to slide the knot up and down with ease. And then, oh, it just slipped on me. I do have a problem with this one. It slips on me more often. I don't know. There you go. Now it's sticking. So I'm pulling pretty hard on that, and it's not shifting. Yeah, no movement there. So that's how you tie the taut line. Let's go through that again. And so yeah, knots are very, very similar. Minor difference between the two. You may find that one works out a little bit better for you than the other. It's nice to know both. Learn both of them, practice both of them, see which one you like, see which one works better for you. Maybe in some situations you like one more than the other, whatever. I don't think either one is wrong. They're both legit knots. There you go. And there we go. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't work as well for me as the other one, but it does work for sure. And there you go, adjustable grip hitch and Tautline hitch, both adjustable knots, great for tying off tarps, tying off ridge lines, tying up your partner, whatever you want to do, where you want to adjust the size of this loop on the fly. And it's a pretty easy knot to tie. And there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please hit that like button, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you can learn all this fun stuff along with me. Thanks for watching.